I'll read that again. Now therefore let us make a covenant with Ahiah to put up all the wives and such that are born of them. So the born of them, obviously the seed of the father, right? But it said put up the wives and the children as well. Right. Okay. So if I won't be mentioning any Tayanos that are pale skinned, I'll tell you that now, straight. Okay. Right. And the children that are born of them according to the counsel of Ahiah, and of those that tremble at the commandments of Ahiah. There is no fear of Ahiah now. If you have the fear of Ahiah, Ahiah said not to do something, you don't do it. You go to the other extreme, like, so that you can make sure that you're keeping the laws of the Most High. I'd rather just measure my people and know that I'm safe with the Most High and keeping His laws than to make excuses for some mixed race people to come into the camp, right? And the Most High not be pleased with me. Okay? And I know one thing, if I'm going the wrong way, the Most High leads me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. And He knows everything I'm doing is in the sincerity of my heart, because I want to worship Him in spirit and in truth. And I want to see exactly what happened when our nation came together in Acts 2, when everyone was one heart, one soul. No one thought anything was theirs, but they all shared all things together. And they broke bread daily in the temple. This is what I want to see. Right? So if there's a person that's not the temple of Ahiah and wants to come in and and that's going to mess up everything, I would rather not even try to measure you, as the Most High has given command. Follow His command. Right? And let it be done according to the law. Like I said, it's a law. According to the law. You don't measure them. Right. Let's now get Malachi to seal this up, and then we'll go to judge not according to your parents. Let's get a precept for that. But let's read Malachi first. We'll seal this up. Judge not according to your parents, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay? We've almost finished. Stay with me now. You've been with me all through. Let's finish this. Right, Malachi chapter 2, verse 11. Yahweh has dealt treacherously. Treacherously, that means it's bad. This is bad. Right, just like we saw in Nehemiah, it says it was a great evil. Yahweh has dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Yasharallah and in R.A.W. So if you fear the Most High says an abomination, you stay clear of that. Yahweh has dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Yasharallah and in R.A.W. For Yahweh has profaned the holiness of Ahiah which He loved, and has married the daughters of a strange power. Ahiah will cut off the man that doeth this, cut off. The man that doeth this, the master and the scholar out of the temple of Jacob. So we know that, like we see in Nehemiah and Ezra, it was the priests that were chief in doing this abomination. Right? The master and the scholar out of the temple of tabernacle of Jacob, and him that offered an offering unto Ahiah, Shatazabawat, Ahiah, the power of the host. Right? Then the verse 14 now gives you the understanding of why the Most High wants this. Right? He says, yet ye say, wherefore, why? Because the Most High has been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, because He selected a beautiful daughter of Yasharallah for you, who is your wife by covenant, not any other nation. You're supposed to marry them, right? So it says, for the Most High has been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Because every time you go with another nation, right, you're doing bad to our sisters. So no matter if they're caught, like they've been messed up, the reason why they're messed up is because as a nation we're messed up. So rather than going for another nation, which is literally betraying, is treachery against your nation, you need to lift up the sisters and heal them and bring them in. Because whoever loves his wife loves himself. So most of the times when you're going for another nation, you're showing that you hate yourself. It's self-hatred. Okay? Right. Against whom thou hast dealt treacherously, yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant. The Most High only making covenant, the only covenant you can have in marriage is between a Hebrew woman and a Hebrew man. You can't, any other thing is an illegal covenant. Right, the Most High is sanctioning that. Right, verse 15. And did not he make one? One. Right? Did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit. Like we saw it with Onan, like I explained, the multiple layers, because he wants to pour his Spirit. This is his temple. He's gonna dwell. It's not gonna dwell like Paul was trying to say in 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Will you join the temple of the Most High with the temple of Belial? Will you join the temple of the Most High with the temple of a harlot? Because all the nations are nothing to him. That's what the Most High is trying to show you, right? So it says the residue of the Spirit. But it says, but whoever is joined to the Most High is one Spirit. Paul was already showing you. Shaul was already showing you that. The reason why I don't say Paul, I say Shaul, because his name will not be changed to an European name. That's all the Byzantine, Empire and the Council of Nicaea trying to give you that European kind of mindset. So every time you see Paul, do you see a West Indian? Because it was from tribe of Benjamin. You just see some white Jewish Ashkenazi man, with the nonsense little beard thing that they have. Right. So it says, did not he make one, yet had he the residue of the Spirit? Because the Most High is only going to pour his Spirit in his temple. Okay? And wherefore one, that he might seek a righteous seed, a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit. Take heed to your spirit, and let no one deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. Okay? Whoever has an ear, let him hear. So let's finish up now with judge not according to appearance though. Right. Let's get some precepts for that, man. Because you lot need to start to deal with precepts. Precept must be upon precept. Line upon line, here a little, there a little. Okay? Stop listening to the pork chop eating people teaching you nonsense, man. Alright. Pastor Pork Chop just want your tithes and your offering. He ain't teaching the truth. It's either he's deceived or he's deceiving you. John chapter 7, let's start from verse 17. If any man will do his will, he shall know the doctrine. So he's speaking to the Pharisees now, right? We're going to go deeper into that, because the Pharisees, these people, right? The Pharisees just means teachers of the law, right? But because most of these people their spirits were off. Okay, there was all sorts of things that was going on. They were hypocrites, basically. So Yeshua wasn't saying not to keep the laws. He was saying don't follow after their hypocrisy. But I'll have to do another teaching on that. We're not going into that right now. So he went into their temple, right? And it says the Jews marveled, saying, how knoweth this man letters, having never learned? It's like, where is he getting all this information from? This is why it's important to keep your spirit pure. Because now, the Most High is going to pour in, it's like the Holy Spirit. Why is it Holy Spirit? Why is it Kadash Ruach? The breath of the Most High himself. The holy, set apart spirit. Yeshua had to come through Yahweh and Mariam, because it had to be a set apart spirit. That's why you had to come through a clear genealogy. Set apart spirit. Okay? Anyway. Verse 17. If any man do his will. No, then Yeshua answered and said unto them, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man do his will, he shall know the doctrine. So if you do the will of a higher, you know the doctrine I'm talking about. My sheep know my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not listen to. Whether it be of a higher, or whether I speak of myself. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory. But he that seeketh the glory, his glory that sent him, the same is true, and there is no unrighteousness in him. So if you don't have your own private agenda, you do what the word is saying. If the Most High said integration is an abomination, then stop that nonsense. Okay, and cleave unto your own people. Love your people. Okay. And verse 19. Did not Moshe give you the law? Yet none of you keep the law. Why go ye about to kill me? Then the people answered and said to him, thou hast a devil. Who goeth about to kill thee? So who's trying to kill you? You have a devil in you, man. And then Yeshua answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye marvel. Moshe therefore gave you circumcision, not because it is of Moshe himself, but of the fathers. So circumcision came from Abraham circumcised himself, okay? And ye on the Shabbat day circumcise a man. If a man, because they were accusing him of doing miracles on the Shabbat. He said, if a man on the Shabbat day receives circumcision, that the law of Moshe should not be broken, are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Shabbat? Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So when you see the context of what he was saying, was he trying to tell them, don't look at the color of the skin before judging? Is that the context of what we just read now? Of course not. But let's still get a precept. You know, even though we've read it now, you can see the context Yeshua was speaking about when he's saying judging according to appearance, because obviously they were teachers of the law, they were judges, so they're coming now trying to judge him on healing a man on the Shabbat. He's saying, look, judge righteously. If you're going to circumcise a man on the Shabbat, what's wrong with healing people on the Shabbat? Is it that not doing the will of the Most High? I'm not taking delight in doing my own thing. I'm doing the will of the Father. So why are you guys against me? Judge righteously. Okay? So let's get this quickly and wrap this up. Deuteronomy, let's get a precept, and then this will be the end of it. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. And I charge your judges, your judges at that time, saying, hear the cause between your brethren, and judge righteously. Same thing Yeshua was saying. And judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger. God judge righteously, even with the strangers as well. Treat strangers even as you treat your brothers, right? That is with him. Ye shall not respect person, right? That's that judging according to appearance. Ye shall not respect person in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of face of man, for the judgment of Ahias, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me and I will hear it. So that was what Yeshua was talking about. He's literally speaking to the Jews, so they will have understood that that's the law in Deuteronomy. Judge righteously. Don't judge according to appearance. Don't just judge according to how you want to see it, but judge according to what Ahia wants you to do. Okay? Don't respect person. That's what that judging according to appearance is. Don't look at me, because the way you're saying things like, oh, are you not just the son of the carpenter? You know, are you? Okay, so there you go. That's the precept for judge not according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment. Okay, so yeah, I've covered quite a bit in a short space of time, and I know, like, sometimes I don't realize that I'm actually speaking like fast and speaking a lot, you know. So I hope you guys were edified by it. I hope you now understand clearly. If someone was come to you and tell you, oh yeah, you know, some nonsense about you know, how do you verify that the seed of the father? Why you need to throw away this book? You know, science says 23, you know, chromosomes come from the father and the mother. You can just tell them, yeah, you know, and give them a deeper understanding on it. Okay, you don't have to be a genetic, you know, major to be able to dissect this. This is easy. It says in the last days, knowledge will cover the earth as waters cover the sea. You just need to be thorough with it. You need to go step by step. I've given you, you can trace, you know, the Hebrew, well, specifically the Hebrews, right? But it's the Hebrew haploid gene, you know, the haploid type, you know, haploid group is E1B1A. It's very easy to trace it, you know. So if you're going down the DNA route, you know, you trace it, you know, and we see it based on what we read, just reading, just in Wikipedia, you know, by just typing in the search engine E1B1A haploid group, you know, you get a whole, you know, breakdown. It's a simple breakdown. It's not dissertation or nothing like that, but it gives you a clear understanding. It gives you something to start on, you know, if you actually want to go down this road. Okay, so these kind of things I'm doing, you know, I want to bring together. Eventually, when we come together, I want to set up a genetic team who will do genetics that, you know, benefit our people, you know, our genetics, you know, not the white man's genetics. They don't deal with us. That's why they can never get the deeper sense of us, and that's why everything's always on a shallow level, because, and that's why we're stuck, because every time we give into this mentality, we're never able to tap into the power that we have. You know, our melanin is the power that holds everything together. Okay, so I hope you've been edified. You know, like I said, questions, ask me some questions, man. I don't want to be the one just talking. Like, I want this to be as interactive as possible. And if there's no questions, then cool, you know. So, Shalawam Yasharala. Kwam Yasharala.